Lights out for thousands of us as the sun and moon intersect, casting a shadow across parts of the state.
Hundreds of thousands flooding into the state to witness this historic moment.
And we want to make sure that we were prepared for the influx of visitors.
State leaders have been planning for months, even years, to prepare for the big day. But will their plans hold?
We've been staging different medical resources, fire resources all over the county.
This is a full hands on deck, everybody work.
A once-in-a-lifetime event coming to fruition in less than 2 hours.
We're spread out across 5 countries, counting down to the big moment. Are you ready?
It's the Great Arkansas Eclipse, right here on this special edition of 5 News. And we are ready. Good afternoon. Welcome to this special edition of 5 News, the Great Arkansas Solar Eclipse of 2024. I'm Darren Bob.
And I'm Joe Ellis, and we're live here in Clarksville. Now, for the next 2.5 hours, this will be our home base.
Yeah, and we're high atop the rooftop on Main in downtown Clarksville, and we've pretty much taken over this rooftop, about half of it. And we can't thank the folks at the rooftop for letting us invade their space. We, of course, have crews everywhere. We'll be checking with them in just a little bit. We've got cameras everywhere. Just to give you the lay of the land here on the rooftop, we've got a camera that has been following the sun, and we're going to show you that right now too. We've got that's the camera we're going to be using when the eclipse actually starts here in about an hour and 45 minutes or so. We also have a camera that's showing you exactly what's happening on the rooftop here in downtown Clarksville. A lot of folks have come out. They've been out here for quite a while this morning.
They have, and you know, we're seeing people from all over the country come here to watch this thing. We've seen New York, Michigan. What license plates have you seen today?
Oh, well, a couple from Florida. There's at least 30 states represented, I know, in Russellville, and we'll be checking with Morgan Wrigley there in just a bit. We've been talking about this for the last several months. Up to 1.5 million people are expected to be in Arkansas, and from what I hear, Texas has got cloudy skies and some rain. There's a lot of folks who are going to be driving in from Texas to follow this up here as well too. So that number might actually get bigger than what they first said.
I think so. You know, and driving in today here through this area, a few of the hotels that you come across, you can tell that people are here because those parking lots to the hotels, they are packed. And just folks, you know, meeting new people from all over, having a great time out here.
Yeah, we've already met a couple of folks over here sitting next to us from Southern California. They're here to visit. We may try to get them on TV here in just a little bit as well too. But again, we have crews pretty much all over the place in Ozark and Paris and Mount Magazine and Russellville, of course here in Clarksville, and even in Northwest Arkansas as well. Alexandra and Tiffany, we're going to toss it back to you in the studio. It's a nice day out here, not a lot of cloud cover. We are really going to have a lot of fun with this today.
Oh, we are so envious that you guys are in the path of totality. How exciting, absolutely gorgeous day out there. Thank you, Darren and Joe. It's going to be a bunch of fun for this very special day. And like Darren was just saying, we had been worrying, especially for the past week when we were looking at the 7-day forecast, the 10-day forecast, it was going to be a cloudy day up here and especially down in more central Arkansas. And we have so many tourists here. The flights were full of tourists. You can see so many different license plates on the roads, and you couldn't ask for a better day. But I mean, it's a beautiful bluebird sunny day.
Yeah, it's so crazy because this morning, Zach was saying, you know, we're starting off the day. It's looking like it could be a little cloudy, and just throughout the morning, those chances have continued to go down. And 5 News reporter Morgan Wrigley, she's out in Clarksville. We'll hear from her in a little bit. Well, Russellville, actually, she was saying 48 states that they know so far are in Russellville, 12 countries. A lot of people are here just to see this eclipse. So it's going to be an awesome day.
It would be fun for anyone who does go out there today, if you're in the path of totality, just asking people, well, where are you from? And how long were you planning this vacation? It's so exciting. And, you know, the next eclipse, total solar eclipse, is happening in 2044, but that path of totality is completely different. So it's very special. It's going over Arkansas. And the fact that we have such a beautiful day is just amazing.
And it's helped us get a lot of tourists here. We heard this morning there was one guy from Kansas City drove to Dallas. It was supposed to be cloudy, got in the car, drove to Arkansas. And so I think we're going to have a lot of people doing that today because it is turning out to be such a beautiful day.
That might add to the traffic on the roads. If it's cloudy in
sure.
Dallas, I've heard that too. A lot of people now moving towards Russellville to go see it because they're already here. So you want to make sure you're making the most.
Yeah, but
of
Five
this
Country,
day.
we're welcoming those visitors. We're excited for it. Well, we want to break down what's exactly going to happen today for the next 2.5 hours. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken as if it were dawn or dusk, and people along the path of totality will see the sun's corona or outer atmosphere. It's usually blocked by the bright face of the sun. The last time a solar eclipse passed through the U.S. was back in 2017, and this is the first time that an eclipse has passed through Arkansas since 1918.
That is amazing, truly historic. Now let's take a look at who's in the path. The eclipse has already started at sunrise over the Pacific Ocean, so it's going on right now. It will cut through Mexico, then cross over America from Texas all the way up to Maine. Of course, the moon's shadow will cut through 5 countries. The numbers you see on your screen right now show you how long that totality is going to last. People in parts of Sebastian, Scott, Logan, Franklin, and Johnson counties will all get to see the full total solar eclipse today. Those who are not in the path of totality, I think we're at 90-95%, but it just will not look the same. If you're at 100% totality, you are getting the full show. It's going to be beautiful. And we have all of 5 country covered today with our crews out in the field. Look at this amazing map we made. You've already seen Darren and Joe above Main Street in Clarksville. Beautiful day for it. Kayla Davis is in Ozark, ready for their celebration downtown.
Morgan Wrigley's in Russellville, and also shout out to Stephen Elmore in Clarksville as well. And then in Russellville, NASA will be looking at the eclipse. Jacob Luthi is on top of Mount Magazine, the highest point in the state.
Oh, that's a good vantage point for this. Well, Rachel Williams is on I-40 watching for traffic and backups. You know the roads are going to be so busy today. Lauren Spencer is in downtown Bentonville. It's out of the path of totality, but the city is still holding a big party to make sure everyone has a memorable eclipse day. So let's kick it off with our team coverage as it continues in downtown Ozark.
Yeah, Kayla, that excitement, it's building. People are out there. What's it looking like out there? Is it crowded? Are people ready to go?
That's right, you guys. We're out here in Ozark. The day has finally come. It is Eclipse Day. Ozark has about 3,600 people, and they're expecting upwards of 10,000. We haven't quite hit that number just yet, but we've got some crowds here. There's vendors, there's live music just outside of the shot, and we have our mayor of Ozark, Roxy Hall. I'm so sorry. Tell me a little bit about what this process has been like, putting it together and then finally coming into fruition.
Well, it's been almost 2 years work in the planning, and to see it all fall together today makes it all worth everything that people put into it. Our Main Street director, Shelby Beasley, and her crew have done a fabulous job, and we've had people in here today. Yesterday we had a ballet out at our school. There were people from China, Bangladesh. That was our goal, was to bring people in and show them what we have here in Ozark and how proud we are.
China and Bangladesh, would you have ever thought that they would be coming here to Ozark?
Absolutely not. And then we ask them, what brought you here? And they look at you like the eclipse. So yes, but we're very grateful for that. And the team effort, and as each 15 minutes go by, you can see the crowd gets bigger. So very grateful for that, because a lot of work has been put into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we are super excited. We've got probably about an hour. At 1:50 is when we're going to see the eclipse here. So Jacob is over at Mount Magazine, and we're going to see what he's seen over there. I'm sure it's a lovely view. Jacob.
We're going to get to Jacob in just a little bit. Right now, Zach is joining us. Zach, we were just talking about this as Darren and Joe are live in Clarksville. Beautiful sky, no cloud cover, same pretty much all throughout 5 country.
Yeah.
Keep it that way, too.
It's really good. And again, the thin high-level clouds that we have scattered around, it's not going to be a problem. You're going to be able to see with your glasses on. You're going to see right through that. And so some of the images that we've even shown you of our own camera, where it's just complete black with that orange ball in the center, that's what it looks like for us. us. Now, we were a little nervous about it. We've got the high-level cloud cover in place like we expected, and our latest trends over the last 24 hours were that this thick cloud cover moving into southern Arkansas is way off towards the south, and it is not going to be a problem for us. So we're going to continue to track the clouds there. A lot thicker for Texas, southern Arkansas. For us, in totality, we're looking good. Now, southeast Oklahoma, some clouds are a little thicker there, and they're just to the south of LaFleur County and Scott County. But right now, again, 5 country, and then most of Arkansas in the path of totality. Sitting pretty for us right now. Here's a live look real quick in Ozark. You can see some of those higher level clouds, but we're seeing more blue skies. It's going to be beautiful. If anything, I think some of these scattered higher level clouds just may add a little extra pop of color, especially in the area of totality. I mean, that 360 sunset's going to be gorgeous. Here's a look at temperatures for you outside. What a beautiful day to be outside. We've got a little bit of a breeze gusting near 20, temperatures in the 70s. We're making a run for the 80s. And here's a look at the updated viewing conditions. Again, I think we are looking good, ladies.
All right, thanks for that, Zach. We're about to head back out to Clarksville to see what emergency managers in 5 country are doing to make sure that everything goes smoothly today. But before we go to break, let's take a look at what type of eclipse we're going to see today.
Today's event is just one of 4 types of solar eclipses. Let's break it down. First up, we'll talk about today's eclipse called a total solar eclipse. It happens when the moon completely blocks the face of the sun by passing between it and Earth. People in the middle of the shadow will experience a total eclipse, meaning the sky will darken as if it was dusk or dawn. They'll see what's called the sun's corona, or outer atmosphere, which is usually blocked by the sun's bright face. Next up is the annular solar eclipse. This is what many folks saw back in October. The annular eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the Earth, but this time it's at its furthest point from the Earth. That means it doesn't completely cover the sun, but creates a dark disk, making what looks like a ring. You need to keep your eclipse glasses on to enjoy this type of eclipse. Depending on where you are, you might experience a partial solar eclipse. This can happen during a solar or annular eclipse when you're outside the area covered by the moon. You'll see part of the sun covered, giving it a crescent shape. And lastly, a hybrid solar eclipse. Because the Earth is curved, there are times an eclipse can switch between an annular and a total solar eclipse as it moves across. The next one of these won't be until 2031.
The Great Arkansas Eclipse, sponsored by Crabtree RV and Blue Ribbon Auto Group.
And we're back in Clarksville, high atop the rooftop in downtown Clarksville on Main Street. We can't thank them enough for letting us invade their spot. They, along with a bunch of folks, have been for the last 12, 15 months or so planning for this event. It has been monumental, the planning, not only by the state, not only by county governments, but city governments have done a lot to get planned for this. It's
they
amazing.
have years on end working with other counties just to make sure, they've got all those boxes checked, right? We want to keep everybody safe. So a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Let's check in with 5 News reporter Rachel Williams. She spoke with leaders from 2 separate counties in the path of totality to find out what they're doing to keep everything running smoothly.
The total solar eclipse is expected to bring as many as 1.5 million tourists to Arkansas. Some of the best places to watch are in Scott and Johnson counties.
We feel like we're ready to keep this county and community safe and for our guests to have a very good time.
And to ensure safety, Dr. Ricky Casey, Johnson County Director of Emergency Management, says the county will be fully staffed with crews staged at different locations to make sure 911 calls are being answered and first responders can get where they need to go.
This facility, we actually have our 911 center. We'll have our mobile communications trailer out there at the 911 center. They'll have 4 terminals working with extra people taking telephone calls. Our mobile unit will be out there, our trailer with communications, and it will be here. And we have a fully staffed radio room here.
But even with the planning, there are a few concerns.
We are concerned about making sure we get our ambulances, our law enforcement, and our fire departments to any events, but we feel like we'll be prepared for that. Again, with our law enforcement agencies doing everything they can to keep at least one lane open for emergency traffic.
In Scott County, it's a similar story.
As our first responders, they're used to responding to different calls and having to think quickly and swiftly on their feet. The only difference for that day is going to be how many times we're going to be doing it that day. And so we're just kind of planning accordingly.
With the solar eclipse expected to be the largest tourism event in Arkansas history, Scott County Director of Emergency Management Keaton Davis says it's all hands on deck.
And what we've asked our fire departments to do is at least staff 3 people in each station that day. We have 17 total fire departments in the county. I know that the Sheriff's Office as well as the City PD, they are going to increase their staffing that day as far as shifts go. So they're going to add some extra shifts to make sure there's extra patrol and extra protection that day.
Scott County crews aren't so much worried about response times as they are
the population intake, just making sure we don't overload the system. Now, with that being said, there's going to be an infrastructure overload, no matter where you're at in the state of Arkansas. So we're just watching mainly traffic congestion, gridlocks, making sure people have access to things that they need. And so that's kind of what we're watching at this time.
That crews, they've been working around the clock to make this happen, make sure everyone stays safe, and they have a plan if needed.
Right. You know, you can tell already the activities here in Clarksville have started up. They're doing a sound check behind us here at the levee. We're going to be having some great music here.
You bet.
Now, about a half hour down the highway from Clarksville is Russellville, and I heard Alexandra and Tiffany talk about there are 40 some odd states represented there, or from out of state here in Russellville. A number of countries. Morgan Wrigley is there as well too, and has been there since yesterday. Morgan, what are you seeing there right now?
Well, Darren, to be exact, we know that there are 48 states represented here. That was as of yesterday, so I'm sure there's even more now. I think the amount of people here has about doubled or even more since then. But I'm here with Christine Spidel. She traveled all the way from California. There are people from all over the world here. Hello, Christine. Can you tell us a little bit about your trip here and why you chose Russellville?
Sure. Well, I've known that I was going to come out here since 2017 when I saw my first eclipse, and so I brought my mother with me. She's 87, and we drove from California all the way across. We were going to stop in Texas, but the weather is not so great right now. So we looked up and said, oh, Russellville, Arkansas, let's just keep going. So we got hotels and booked it, and I'm so happy I'm here.
Well, that's quite the trip. And so this is not your first total solar eclipse. So for those of us who haven't seen one before, what should we know about how powerful it is?
You'll want to do another one. Once you see one, it's the most amazing, miraculous thing you've ever experienced. It's like magical, and you can't explain to somebody. They say, "Oh, I'm at 99%." It's like, no, you have to be in 100 to see the full eclipse. It's totally different, and it's just it was a life-changing experience for me.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy your time here. She was telling me earlier that she would want to travel to another country to see one after this.
Maybe Iceland. I don't know. Get a boat and yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Well, we're going to be out here all afternoon, but for now we're going to check in with Jacob Luthi. He's at Mount Magazine. Jacob, how's it looking there?
Yes, back here at Mount Magazine, and I don't know if you can tell, but it is starting to get a little darker, a little more gray. I could tell everyone's, looking around, looking up at the sun, making sure that they don't miss anything. I've been doing it in between, my takes, just to look up, just to not miss this moment. But it is very cool, a little eerie, if I might say. It's a little gray. It's very quiet here. Everyone's focusing on the total solar eclipse, and a reminder that, the Department of Tourism for Arkansas thought that they would be seeing around 1.5 million people. That was the highest number that we were expecting to see in this state. And Mount Magazine, as we heard earlier, at full capacity, so many people here specifically at this location because of the views, because of the location, because of the opportunity to see this total solar eclipse. For many people, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And I'm joined now here who knows how to deal with tourism and crowd control and dealing with influx of people. Alex Hedegaard, he works for the Arkansas Parks. Can you just tell me a little bit about what the last few weeks have kind of been like here, trying to just dealing with all the people?
Well, it's been very busy, but in a good way. We've been prepping really hard to try to make the best, most memorable, yet still safe experience for the public. We've been offering programs that really highlight all the spectacular things about this spectacular place and this spectacular event that's happening over this beautiful place. So I'm proud to be in Arkansas, and I'm proud to be part of the Arkansas State Parks and working toward that mission for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to people, kind of this focus that I've been focusing on is the people from all over the world, all over the country for this here in Arkansas, and then just what does that kind of say about, you know, the beauty of this place and all that it has to offer?
Yeah, I mean, I hear nothing but just what you said. It's just a beautiful place to be. We've had people from all over the world. Literally, we've had a big map in our lobby, and it is just full of pins from Russia all the way to the Philippines to Brazil. And the word I'm hearing from everyone is like, gosh, this place is spectacular. I want to come back, and we hope they do, because it's nothing like it, you know. So
on a personal level, you know, just, you know, this experience, have you kind of here at the park, have you ever experienced something like this in Mount Magazine? You know, I'm sure you know, have high season with a lot of visitors, a lot of people coming, but something like this where so many different people are coming for the same thing, to experience kind of this event.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those spectacular times that has resulted in a phenomenal turnout of people. We have that from time to time with various events, not just at Mount Magazine State Park, but all 52 of them from time to time have increases in visitation, people enjoying this beautiful state. But yeah, definitely it's been a real special time for sure.
All right, well, you heard it from him, but we will keep tracking the total solar eclipse, of course, with our glasses on, and back to you guys.
Okay, Mount Magazine, I feel like that's a place you want to be. Absolutely beautiful without an eclipse. And you were talking about, you hope he gets one of the videos of the 360 sunset. We all want to see it.
And again, this eclipse is good. Most of the people are going to be 2 to 4 minutes. So spend a minute or two just soaking it in, and then get your phone out and just record like you know, a 360 of the sunset. And you can aim it up, you know, when you're in totality, aim it up at the sun and the moon, and you'll be fine. But get one of those videos. It's one of those where you want people to have fun, but at the same time, you're like, hey, give me a video so I can see a little, you know. Soak it in, soak it in.
That's good advice. You want to enjoy the moment, but also capture the moment.
Don't be selfish. Bring it back for us.
Yeah, exactly. We're missing it. Well, Zach, this traffic we're seeing in Alma going east of Mulberry is crazy.
Yeah, this is I-40 eastbound, so anywhere from around the Alma area, even back towards Van Buren, really starts to slow down. This is Mulberry, so it's several mile stretch. I-40 eastbound, that's where we're seeing the majority of the congestion. There have been some accidents earlier on today, and there's just so many people on the roads here. So you can just plan from Van Buren to Clarksville to Russellville. I would go ahead and anticipate there being a lot of traffic.
Ooh, yes. And, you know, as state police have been saying, do not pull over on the shoulder. Don't try to watch the eclipse if you're stuck in traffic. With your eclipse glasses on in the car, it's just a really bad idea.
Oh yeah, for sure. And RDOT's saying even pack the snacks, have the blankets, have everything ready just in case you were to get stuck on the side of the road. But we are all so excited for the eclipse, but not all the traffic that comes with it. We were taking a look at some of the plans RDOT has in place. Before we go to the break though, let's take a look at what you need to know when it comes to protecting your eyes today.
You must use what are called ISO certified safe solar eclipse glasses. These protect your eyes when the sun is not yet fully eclipsed. Keep in mind, sunglasses and most welding filters are not dark enough to protect your eyes and can actually lead to damage. Once the sky is dark, you'll see the solar corona. That's your cue to take off your glasses and look. The solar corona is a glowing white ring around the sun made of gases. They're usually hidden by the bright lights of the sun. And for areas of the country that will only see a partial solar eclipse, you'll have to keep your glasses on for the entire event. Outside of totality, there's no time when it's safe to look directly at the sun without eclipse glasses.
Well, hey,
welcome back. You're joining us once again live in Clarksville where we're counting down to the Great Arkansas Eclipse 2024. You can tell here on the rooftop off of Main, we're having a good time, music going on, and a lot of people out here.
There's a line of cars behind us that are trying to get into downtown Clarksville. There's a lot of people here on top of the rooftop on Main. You can tell the music is behind us and it's sounding really good right now, but let's talk about traffic for just a second. We've already seen some of the RDOT cameras right there in Alma and Mulberry and Ozark and Russellville or Clarksville. A lot of traffic congestion, especially if you're coming from Alma to Clarksville, you're going to run into a lot of traffic. Now, what state police has been telling us for the last several months is don't stop on the interstate. If you're going to watch the eclipse, you need to be off the interstate. Don't pull over on the shoulder to get out and look at the eclipse, because that will cause even more traffic delays, and that could cause some serious accidents as well.
Yeah, you bet. And obviously, those glasses, those eclipse glasses, don't put those on while you're driving, because we know all too well you can't see anything. Those are meant for whenever the eclipse happens, so you can take a look at that, but can't see anything otherwise.
Yeah, and then before, during, and after. Now, especially after the eclipse is over, there's going to be a lot of folks who are from out of state that may hang around for a little bit, and even if you're not in state, you may still hang around a little bit. Traffic is going to be awful right after the eclipse is over. So wherever you're watching the eclipse, you might just want to hang out and have a good time, especially if you're, like in Ozark or here in Clarksville or Russellville or Paris or even atop Mount Magazine. If you want to just hang out for a bit, it might do you well, so you can avoid all that traffic.
Yeah, and there's plenty to do out there, so you won't get bored. You'll find something, meet some new friends as well. And also, if you have to travel, Arkansas State Police say it's a good idea to take some snacks with you.
Yeah.
Maybe you get stuck in traffic for a couple hours, right? You're going to need that with you. But let's go ahead and check in with Bella right now. Take a look at those roadways to see what it's looking like out there. Hey, Bella.
Hey, our eyes are definitely on the River Valley right now, all that traffic, but here in Northwest Arkansas, we are looking at an accident over in Gravette. This is a rollover with a tractor trailer. All lanes are impacted by this, but if we take a look out at traffic conditions a little bit further south near Alma, Mulberry, Dyer, you can see we've got some pretty heavy congestion out there sticking around. A few spots trying to clear up. You can see over in Alma, but heavy cars and traffic out there for today. If you're headed eastbound, expect some pretty long wait times. It is just slowing to a crawl out there. Let's throw it to Rachel to get a live look out in the I-40 corridor.
Yeah, Bella, I-40 West is pretty clear right now until you get to that Alma interchange going east towards Mulberry. Dave Parker with RDOT did say that there was an accident there this morning, but that has cleared. But traffic is still moving very slowly. It's just a lot of congestion because everyone, of course, is going to the path of totality near Clarksville and Russellville. But of course, on our drive on the way down here, it was pretty clear for us heading south off I-49. But again, like I said, there was a little bit of slowdown to that Alma interchange, but all things are still moving clearly out here. But of course, like you guys have been saying, officials are urging everyone, if you want to look at the eclipse, to be sure to pull over into a parking lot or somewhere safe, not on the side of the highway, so you can view the eclipse. They just don't. That's just not safe, and it's going to cause more accidents. But that's all that I have right here for now. We're going to turn it over to Brooke Buckner who talked with Arkansas State Police.
If you plan on driving during the eclipse in its totality, there's a few things to remember to keep not just you safe, but others around you. One of ASP's main focuses is to keep traffic moving, and you can help them do it.
Our best advice for that is don't pull over. Don't stop on the interstate, obviously. Don't pull over to the shoulder. What that does is that causes a chain reaction, could cause a bunch of crashes.
So if you want to look up at the sky during totality, officials don't recommend being behind the wheel. Captain Brad Land says they already expect traffic to move slowly.
We anticipate an influx of visitors here, so we know the traffic's going to be heavy.
And it's already picking up.
We've seen a few out-of-state vehicles already. We would assume they're here for the eclipse, but I noticed yesterday afternoon on the way home there was a lot more traffic than normal.
Besides stopping on or near the interstate, RDOT has a few more don'ts for you to keep in mind. RDOT says don't wear eclipse glasses while driving and don't travel immediately after the eclipse ends. Captain Land echoes that and asks for everyone to have some patience.
Pack plenty of food and water with you, make sure your gas tank's full. And that way if you do have to stop on the interstate for a while, at least you've got those with you. But we're going to do everything in our power to keep that traffic moving, that way that doesn't happen.
Brooke Buckner, 5 News.
All right, we're going to send it back over to Darren and Joe, who is in Clarksville. Darren and Joe, how is it out there?
Thanks. Yeah, it's a perfect day here in Clarksville, and we heard from Jacob it's a really nice day there as well too. And again, on the traffic issue, if you are out and about and you leave from wherever you are to watch the eclipse and you're having some trouble, there is a number that you can dial for state police to come help you out. It's 277. So if you have an emergency of some kind, if you're out on the interstate or a back road, if you're after watching the eclipse and you get going again, again, dial 277.
Yeah, that's our 277 number. Also, I was reading on Arkansas State Police, they posted a little bit earlier today that if you see maybe a dangerous structure there, to give it a call. That'll get you to the nearest dispatcher.
Yeah. All right, we're going to send it back into, once this guy leaves.
He's having fun out there.
We're going to send it back into Alexandra and Tiffany and Zach inside the studio. A lot going on today.
Yeah, it's a great day to ride a motorcycle too.
It really is. That was so fun. But that was cool. We were seeing it started. Exactly saying you can kind of tell.
You see it just nudging in there, so we'll watch it over the next, hour, a little over an hour.
And that's, I think, what we haven't really focused on. We were so narrowed in on totality, but actually, there's a whole experience. So you can go outside and look.
The whole parcel's got to build up to the total, so it's exciting. This is part of the fun too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, well, as we take a live look over I-40, Zach, what are we looking at right now? This huge backup, but what we're also seeing is it's a perfectly cloudy, overcast day. It looks like it's just completely clear out there.
Northwest Arkansas's got some of the higher clouds. Even here, it's going to be fine. Now, on top of this, we are tracking the chance for storms later tonight. Some of those could be on the stronger side, so we'll have an update on that coming up.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Couldn't have asked for a better eclipse day. We want to see how you're celebrating today's big eclipse. Maybe you're out there on the rooftop with Darren and Joe, or maybe you're just at home, got those glasses ready to celebrate. Send us your pictures to the number on your screen, 479-785-5000, and we'll be showing them throughout this special.
Welcome back. We're live here in Clarksville once again, the rooftop on Main, where I don't think we could have asked for a better day to bring in this.
Oh my gosh, there's people everywhere on top of the rooftop. If you look over our shoulder, there's a big crowd that's there at the levee listening to music. There is a lot of activity. We have a camera that we can show you that a lot of activity on the Johnson County Courthouse lawn. There are tents set up, there are vendors set up, there's food stuff vendors out there set up. They've got them all along Main Street here from the county courthouse all the way down here to the levee. They have really gone all out. Not only on top of the rooftop restaurant here, but on the levee. There's people lined up along the levee now to watch the eclipse here in about an hour or so. In fact, we have one of our cameras on the sun right now, and if you look really closely, you can actually start to see a sliver. This is a live look from our camera here on the rooftop. A little bitty sliver of the sun being shaded by the moon. So we are getting started.
Enough to get you excited.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know, it's perfect weather here for this. It's a perfect afternoon, especially since we heard that there's not very good weather in Texas and some other places. But we can tell you that the city of Clarksville, Johnson County Chamber of Commerce, I interviewed the assistant director, the vice president of the Clarksville Chamber of Commerce about a month ago. They began planning this event about a year or so ago. They have gotten about every town involved in Johnson County involved in this event, and especially the city of Clarksville. Again, they have gone all out for a lot of activities, not only here, but in Ozark, I know that's in Franklin County, but a lot of these small towns are really taking advantage of all these people that are now coming into Arkansas from out of state.
Yeah, you bet. And you know, with all these people coming in from out of state, Darren, I talked to a lady today that actually held a church service this morning, and she came up to me and she said, I have a story to tell you. She was so excited. She had met some people from Michigan, California, and Colorado, and invited them back to her house for lunch. So right now, at this moment, they're at her house with her new friends, just breaking bread, having lunch. Southern hospitality.
All right, you guys back in the studio. We're having a lot of fun out here. A lot of folks, we're making some really nice friends out here as well too. So we'll send it back to you and see what's happening.
All right, thank you, Darren and Joe. We can just hear that party atmosphere out there. The music is playing, the crowds are out there. We're here on the 5 News backboard.
It's not as lively out here.
No,
it's just us. We need some music
back here.
We need a little backyard
We need people lined up to
barbecue
see
thing
us.
going on, a little band back here. Yeah, we need some music going on out here.
Yeah, you know, if you have a few extra minutes, you start fire up a playlist. Like
playlist. Don't go chasing waterfalls. We are going down today.
I was telling you guys just a moment ago, for people who think they're just going to drive out now and maybe go to a rest area, we've had reports that rest areas along I-40 have already been packed for a couple of hours. Lawn chairs out there, the off-ramp to the rest area and the on-ramp completely packed. So people are scattered all over Five Country in totality. The path to totality, and it's kind of exciting. I've got my glasses out here too.
Yeah, we've got them.
We've already been able to show you. We've got live shots here that we're going to continue to show you the coverage there. Our own cameras set up looking at the sun, and we can see that the partial eclipse is already taken off. And even with the clouds that we have here, some higher level clouds, not going to be an issue for us. I mean, we're really in a good spot, especially compared to our neighbors to the south in Texas.
Wow, wow, that's exciting. You know, and the weather is amazing today. What are we looking at for the rest of the day?
So we're looking at, again, some of these clouds going to stick around, the cirrus clouds, and again, they're not even looking as bad as the potential there was going to be a little bit earlier this morning, looking at the area, really thinking, okay, could this cirrus deck be a little thicker? It's possible. Again, when we talk about cirrus clouds anyways, those high-level clouds, usually we're not that concerned. I mean, again, they're always going to be on the thinner side, but again, you can get a little thick there. These are so thin, the sun's so bright, you put the glasses on, you're going to shoot right through them, you're not even going to know they're there. And then talking about how beautiful it is out there, temperatures in the 70s, we've got a little bit of a gusty south wind coming in, only around 20 miles per hour, not that bad compared to what we had this weekend. We've got 70s, low 80s showing up in east central Oklahoma, 81 out there in Sigler. There's some of those higher level clouds, and this is as thick as they get. Right now, northwest Arkansas, Springdale, looking back towards the northwest, this is the thickest cloud cover that we have. The further south you go, they really open up, sunshine, great viewing conditions, and even where we do have some of those higher level clouds, not going to be an issue for us. I think if anything, in some of those areas of totality will add a little bit more color. We had this batch of higher level clouds try to come in out of southeast Oklahoma, southwest Arkansas, making a run for Scott and LaFleur counties. Right now, not bad, but some thicker clouds trying to come in. The further south you go, thick cloud cover, rain already starting to pop up. That cloud cover and those rain chances holding off for us through totality. Now, once we get a little bit later on in the afternoon, we're going to transition from watching the eclipse to watching thunderstorm chances rolling in. Again, I think now through 2 o'clock, through the main window to view the eclipse, the partial eclipse leading up to totality, that's what really counts. I think we're looking good. Again, a few scattered higher level clouds, not a big issue. Moving on, late evening into the overnight though, scattered thunderstorms erupt across North Texas, southern Arkansas, and we're going to see some of those scattered showers moving into our area. River Valley South has the best chance for that. Can't rule out a strong storm or two. Best chance for severe weather all day and really all night is going to be further south across the Red River Valley back into the Arklatex region, but a gusty wind, maybe a pocket of hail, can't be ruled out. LaFleur, Scott County, of course, the weather team will have our eyes on that. Starting out with some soggy conditions tomorrow morning. That moves out of here. We'll get a break, and then we'll look for another round or two of showers to try to build in later in the day on Tuesday. We'll have another chance of a shower Tuesday night. Some spotty scattered showers Wednesday night. I think it's out of here maybe as late as sunrise on Thursday. When it's all said and done, 1 to 3 inches likely. River Valley, Ouachita's could get some minor flooding. We'll also keep our eyes on that for you. And maybe some locally higher amounts of over 4 inches going to be possible, again, south of I-40. Again, we get a little bit of a cool down, looking nice for us. We'll have temperatures as we go late week into the weekend, rebounding for all of Five Country, and looking at some sunshine, breezy conditions, and dry weather moving back in as we get into the weekend. Did you guys go look?
No.
You don't even look?
No, we didn't go.
I
We
just
just
gave you a
shared
couple.
places.
I gave you a couple minutes where you could go see for yourself.
Oh, we'll do it the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. When it goes to everyone who's live in the field, Tiffany will go
Okay.
look. That's what it said. You have to find check out first.
It's right there on the other side of the room.
Oh, there's a whole room.
You
I
can't miss
see
it.
it. Okay, we'll find this then. By the way, just want to say it is a little windy out here right
Yes.
now.
Oh, it
is. Amazing for the tourists who are here. This weather could not be better.
Oh, and the spring was perfect. Other than the wind, but honestly, when you've got a big crowd like that, the wind's probably going to feel pretty good.
Yes, especially in Arkansas.
Compared to the cool downs that we've had the last couple of weeks, around Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe, it could have been more uncomfortable outside. It is not.
It is not uncomfy at all. It is the perfect day. The trees are green. We are in full bloom out in Arkansas.
The natural state is looking great for all the visitors that have never been here before, that have come in from all across the country, and we're hearing all across the world. Natural state's looking good, and even southeast Oklahoma looking good as well.
Yes, like you said, in Bentonville, Kayla said she talked to someone who is from China visiting here.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just people from around the country, it's from around the world coming to Arkansas to experience this.
So cool. I even had cousins come in from Florida. So, I mean, people are coming from everywhere, making vacations on it.
I've heard of people in from Cambodia or down in Little Rock watching, and then people from all over Europe or down between Russellville and Little Rock as well.
Well, Arkansas is showing out for all the visitors.
Yes, welcome everyone if you are visiting. All right, I spoke with a NASA astrophysicist who shared a few things that you might not know about a total solar eclipse. Take a listen.
A total solar eclipse happens every 1.5 to 3 years, but there's a reason why you don't see them more often.
Because Earth is mostly covered by water, most of the time that shadow falls in the oceans, and so we don't have an opportunity to see it.
And that's why this event is so special, because the path of totality is cutting through Arkansas. Sure, if you miss it, there's another one happening in 2044, but that path of totality will be completely different. Here's a look at the path from 2017. It went from the West Coast to the East Coast. But with the way the path is lining up this year,
the numbers of people who could possibly see this eclipse will be 3 times as many as in 2017.
while many humans will be looking up at the sky, other creatures are going to be a little confused or even a little mad about what's going on, which is what some researchers noticed while studying them.
The bees, they were very upset. They had all been out looking for pollen. They all came back to the hive, and then after the eclipse ended, it took them quite a while before they flew out again.
So as you look up in the sky in the middle of the afternoon to watch this celestial phenomenon, awe-inspired and speechless, you can also count your blessings that you weren't alive when this happened many generations ago, probably freaking people out a bit.
And suddenly, in the middle of the day, it gets dark. Once you experience a total solar eclipse, you really understand why people would have been frightened.
And as with most things in the 21st century, technology has made it much easier to pinpoint the best spots in America to watch the total solar eclipse.
It wasn't so long ago, like in the early 2000s, when there were books that were printed and you had to look at the map and interpolate positions on the map in order to find your specific location.
All right, well, Five News reporter Morgan Wrigley, she is one of those that is out live in the path of totality, been in Russellville all morning. Last we heard from her, she was saying 48 different states were there, 12 countries. She's talked to a lot of these people even that have made the way to Dallas. Now they're in Russellville. So Morgan, what is it like out there? And are people getting super excited for this eclipse?
Hey Tiffany, well people just keep pouring into Russellville. We thought there were a lot last time we checked in, there's even more now, and people are so excited. Now one exciting thing about Russellville is some scientific experts have made it their home this week as well. NASA and the Paris Observatory are there. I'm here with an astrophysicist right now. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Vincent Coudet du Foresseau. I have a long name. I am an astrophysicist with Paris Observatory, Paris, France, of course. I am the head of the Space Astrophysics Lab at Paris Observatory.
Awesome. And Vincent, you were telling me we know the eclipse has started. You can't really tell right now, but what is going on in the sky?
Yes, in the sky just behind me, the moon has started doing its dent into the sun, and it is very uneventful at the moment. It could be deceiving. People could think that, well, is that just an eclipse? And it will remain so maybe for another half hour or so, and then like 20 minutes before totality, there will be an acceleration of sorts, and lots of bizarre things will start to happen.
Yeah, we're excited for that. You can see the excitement in the crowd, people putting their eclipse glasses on, already checking out the sun. So you were telling me that you've seen many solar eclipses before, gone to many towns like Russellville. What is it like coming all this way to this small town you've never been to before?
Well, it's a great excitement. This is one of the things about eclipses is that it's nature that decides where and when it will happen, and then that puts some places right at the center of the world, right on the map, that enables you to go there, whereas you wouldn't have the idea before. So I must confess, this is my first time in Arkansas. I've been totally blown out by the hospitality of the people. I had heard of Southern hospitality, I had never experienced it before, and that is a wonderful moment.
I think people in Russellville are just so excited to have you here and to have the eclipse here. We're going to continue checking in with you guys, but for now, Tiffany and Alexandra, back to you.
All right, here is a live look at the eclipse that's happening right now in Mexico. You can see it's a partial solar eclipse. Zach, what would you rate this percentage-wise?
Oh, I would go just under 50%. What do you agree?
Yeah.
I'd go like 40, maybe 40%, 45%.
That's pretty cool.
Again, Fayetteville is going to be 98.98% coverage, and Fort Smith 99.75.
That sounds like temperatures if you have a fever.
Yes,
That 99.75, do you think that really is going to be that big of a difference compared to what they're going to see in Clarksville?
Yes, you're not going to get that full sunset kind of view. There's still going to be some brightness there, but I think you'll, and I haven't seen this for myself, so I'm excited too, but I think there's going to be a little bit of like a twilightish kind of feel, but not as much as totality. It really is a big difference just a few miles to the east.
And that's why people are traveling so far and wide to get right in that narrow path of totality, because like you said, it's a big difference between 99.5% to 100%. 100% is really the full enchilada.
The full enchilada.
We have that full enchilada here.
Yes, can we order the enchilada? It's too late. Look, I'm telling you, the full 360 sunset. Some people, if you've never seen it, you think I'm blowing smoke. You're saying you're hyping it up. The 360 sunset is gorgeous. It progressively gets darker. The sky, the stars come out. The sun's covered. A little bit of light coming around. I mean, you literally just have to see it yourself.
You have to see it yourself, but also, you know what? If you're not on the path of totality, don't get FOMO, don't get the feeling like you're missing out, because 5 News has you covered. We've got our cameras pointed at the sky so you can see what it looks like live in the path of totality. Get ready for that later in the show.
Oh, definitely. And we'll have the sights, the sounds from it, all those reporters that are out there live. They're going to tell us exactly what it was like, what the atmosphere was like. So it's going to be like you were there.
Absolutely. All right, stick with us. We'll be right back.
All right, we are back here high atop the rooftop on Main in downtown Clarksville. Again, thanks for the restaurant here letting us invade their space. We are exactly 1 hour away from total solar eclipse. Now we can show the camera that we have here on top of the rooftop. You can see a little bit more of the moon now moving in front of the sun. We have learned so much over the last several months about these scientific terms, and I'm going to use one I ain't never used in forever. We are looking at the beginning of the penumbra.
Penumbra.
This is when the lighter outer part of a shadow within the moon's penumbra, only part of the sun's disk is obscured. That means the penumbra has a considerably lighter shade than the umbra.
Penumbra.
I guess what you use when it rains is an umbra, where the sun is completely covered. That'll be a bit later on. But we're learning so many different different terms and words when it comes to the eclipse. And a lot of folks again are out here in Clarksville. We got music behind us. We have tents and all kinds of vendors going on down at the Johnson County Courthouse in downtown Clarksville, just a few blocks from here. High atop the rooftop here, there is not an empty seat.
Not
here as
one.
well, too,
And you can
so.
tell people are starting to see that something's happening because a lot of people putting on their glasses
Oh, yeah.
are already starting to look up there.
Yeah, and it's from now till the next hour. It's only going to get darker when you're out in this, and so from now till right about an hour from now, you're really going to start to see this happening. So another town that's having a great time as well too is not too far down the highway from here toward Fort Smith is in Ozark.
Yep, that's where we find it. Kayla Davis. Hey Kayla, how are things going there?
That's right, we're having an absolutely amazing time. The mayor of Ozark, Roxy Hall, told me that people from even China and Bangladesh are here in Ozark today, but people all across America have come as well. We have Jennifer Ward here all the way from Long Island, New York, but she has a little bit of a special story I want her to share with you guys today. So Jennifer, tell me, what is this journey that you've been on?
Yeah, so Arkansas is my 50th state that I'm visiting. I decided in 2020 when I was traveling in different countries that I wanted to see 50 states before the age of 50. I'm not 50 yet, 48 and a half.
So 50 under 50, you guys. She's amazing. So why did you choose Arkansas?
Yeah, so with Arkansas, I saw that the eclipse was happening. I'd seen totality in Oregon when I lived there. So I just Googled totality and found Ozark, and I emailed the chamber and Main Street, and they had this, event in the square that you've been talking about. And so I said, can I volunteer? Can I come down? And it's just been a lovely day in Ozark.
So not only is she, on vacation for her 50 under 50 journey, but you're also volunteering. That is just absolutely amazing. Did you originally plan for Arkansas to be your last state, or it just happened to be a coincidence that it was going to be an eclipse today?
It happened, I came to Arkansas for the eclipse. I was thinking I was going to go to Arkansas a year from now, but North Dakota was my 59th, and
You're 49.
Oh, sorry, 49. Oh gosh, 49th. Sorry,
you're not 50 yet.
Oh, I knew I was gonna mess up at some point. So yes, North Dakota was my 49th, and so I was so excited to go to Arkansas. And so yeah.
Well, she doesn't look a day under. You look amazing, and she did it all under 50. So nice to meet you, Jennifer. We're gonna throw it over to Lauren in Bentonville.
Yeah, guys, the party is just getting started here in Bentonville. It's a lot of fun out here. Like Alexandra said earlier in the show, we're not in the path of totality here in Bentonville, but don't underestimate Bentonville. We're still having a great time out here. Still have a little square celebration block party going on. I'm going to step out and have my photographer show you what's going on here. The common theme is people are just kind of sitting here getting ready for what we're about to see, which is that eclipse. We have people sitting on blankets, sitting in folding chairs, just I can feel the anticipation in the air. Let's definitely say that. The prime point in the square here, it's absolutely gorgeous out. Such beautiful weather. We could not have asked for better weather for this day. There's people passing through on the square on their bikes, just really, really enjoying this beautiful, beautiful Monday. There's a few vendors over here selling some fun eclipse-themed merch and stuff. Like I said, we can really feel that anticipation. I spoke with some who said, they're excited to see the eclipse, but they're really just more excited to just have some good time, spend some nice time with their family on this beautiful day. We're having a great time here in Bentonville. We'll check in with you guys later in the special, and we will send it back to the studio to Alexandra and Tiffany.
Right, thank you, Lauren. And like she was just saying, it's a big electric party atmosphere, as it should be. Whether you're in the path of totality or not, it's a great day to celebrate. We were just out on the back porch, grabbed our glasses, and looked up at the sky.
It's so cool. Just go outside, take a look at it. It's so neat. You don't think about it because you think about that one moment where we're going to have the big moment everyone's been waiting for, but there's so much to see before you even get there.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna go take another break, but these are the photos that you guys have been sending us. A lot of selfies. Who is that, Steven? Good. All right,
Yeah.
need to see Steven soon. That's our guy.
Crew sending them in. We love to see it.
Oh, on the right, that's from the Clinton Airport in Little Rock. All of those people with their hands up, they were like, yep, we are coming to Arkansas to see the eclipse. Amazing. There was only one woman on that flight who didn't raise her hand. She looked around like, what?
She's like, what? I just live
happening?
here.
Yeah.
Well, be sure to keep sending in these pictures. We want to see them. We want to see how you're celebrating the big day. And stay with us because when we come back, we're heading out to Clarksville with an update from Stephen Elmore.
All right,
I'm out here with Darren and Joe out here on the rooftop on Main Street, and I tell you what, we really couldn't have asked for a better day today. Yes, there was some concern about those higher level clouds, but the thicker clouds are off towards the south part of the state, and especially over places like Texas. Here in Clarksville, yeah, sure, we have a few of those high cirrus clouds, but overall, lots of sunshine. Even if you are in one of those places across 5 country and you start to see some of those high wispy clouds moving through, it's really easy to see through. As long as you have on your glasses, you're not going to be having any trouble with seeing the eclipse once we get in about just over under an hour from now. We're going to see that eclipse passing over us right now. If you look up, you can already start to see we're guessing around 30% right now of that coverage that we see that moon starting to creep over us. Again, right around 150 is when we're going to see totality here in Clarksville. It's going to last about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and we're seeing clear skies right now. Yes, we have those few high cirrus clouds right now, but across 5 country, a majority of us most likely seeing those higher level clouds. Overall, though, the thicker cloud coverage is off towards the south. Temperatures right now topping out in those 70s, close to making a run towards 80 degrees. So you hear the music out back. Lots of people enjoying the weather outside today. It's gorgeous for the eclipse. A lot of people coming up from Texas. We've seen numerous places, those license plates coming through Clarksville. Our photographer Will has accounts of 26 right now of different states of license plates that he's seen so far. Everybody's coming up from Arkansas, and everybody's going to have a great time here in 5 country of seeing that eclipse because that cloud coverage is held off. Now, you've heard Zach mention it a few times now. We do have some storm chances later on this evening and heading into tomorrow morning, but that's going to build in some cloud coverage, but it shouldn't build too much by the time we're in eclipse totality. If you're heading home tonight, late this evening, making that drive back home, you may notice a few more clouds in the evening hours. Overall, though, we're not going to see that rainfall until we get late this evening, heading into tomorrow morning and throughout most of this week. That's when we see the rain. So thank goodness today's the day that we landed on the eclipse, because it's our last sunny day for here for a while after we build that cloud coverage throughout the rest of this week. And those rain chances here in Clarksville across 5 country, those high level clouds right now. Plenty of sunshine though, and it's going to be great for the eclipse. We'll send it back to Alexandra and Tiffany.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Gorgeous day out there in Clarksville. Very exciting. You are in the path of totality, and like he was saying, you're seeing license plates from all over the country. It'd be kind of fun if you are stuck in traffic to play that game with your kids or whoever you're in the car with. Hey, let's maybe break out a map or just write down all the states you're seeing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we were talking about it. It looks like people are having a great time behind him, laughing, enjoying the sunshine. And what a perfect day to be off of work and enjoying something like this, right?
Absolutely, yes. People have made whole vacations out of this.
All right, we are back on top of the rooftop on Main Street in Clarksville. I'm Darren Bob. Joe Ellison is here. We've got crews pretty much all over the place, and you can tell if we can take that camera. It's about a quarter way covered now, and you can actually kind of feel and see the sun. You can see that it's getting a little bit darker. You can feel the temperature drop maybe just a few degrees, but the camera that we have here on the rooftop showing the moon moving in front of the sun, you can tell it's starting to happen here.
You can. I think all that brightness, that bounces off the concrete, you see on the grass, it's going to level down a little bit. It's a little bit more gray, right? Since that started happening.
I'm looking at about 40 more minutes or so before we're at totality with this eclipse. And there's been so much put into this, not only from the state, but on the county level, on the city level. The Arkansas Department of Management has done such a fantastic job. RDOT has done a wonderful job in trying to get people not to stop on the interstate and keep traffic moving throughout this entire day. The governor just on I think Friday declared a state of emergency, which released about $100,000 of disaster response and recovery funds to make essential goods available should something arise between now and say 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, once everybody starts heading back home, or if there's some kind of an emergency that happens, that money is going to be there just in case something happens. And by the way, we've been taking commercial breaks pretty much throughout this event so far. We are now going to be uninterrupted from now till 2:30, so we will talk our way through and you through this as the sun gets darker and darker up until totality. We'll be quiet at that point so we all can enjoy this, and then we'll talk more. But we still have crews pretty much out everywhere there. One of the great spots to actually see this, and I know there's a lot of folks who are there besides at Ozark and Clarksville, is out at Mount Magazine.
Oh, yeah.
That lodge up there, the highest point in Arkansas, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's what we're checking with 5 News reporter Jacob Aluthi. He has one of the best spots, you bet. He has this report. Take a look.
That's right, back here at Mount Magazine, the weather is perfect. The eclipse is just getting started. As I mentioned earlier, when I was talking, there's people from all over the country and all over the world here, specifically to witness this total solar eclipse here at Mount Magazine. I was speaking to a lady earlier who said it was her 70th birthday. Her and her friends came from New Jersey specifically for this total solar eclipse. She's like, my birthday lands on the eclipse. It's my 70th birthday. Why not? Why wouldn't I be here? And there's a bulletin board up front here at the lodge here at Mount Magazine, which has a map of the world, and there's pinpoints where people are coming for this event. Some people from Zimbabwe, the Philippines, China, Australia, all over Europe, and as I said, all over the United States. And one of those people who came from the United States, his name is Jay, and he actually originally planned to come from Texas. That was the original plan. The weather didn't really pan out. You said maybe a little bit too many clouds, but then decided to come here.
Right. I didn't know where to put the pin on the map, so I did put Paynesville, Minnesota. So yeah, I wanted to paint some pictures and sell them along the way at the wayside rests, and people from Texas are now up in Arkansas. So it's been fun. I'm operating on 3 hours of sleep. I met my student here from about 6-7 years ago, and we all converged on this little magazine mountain.
So what was the goal, or what was the plan specifically to come to Mount Magazine? Why Mount Magazine? I know you said that your student told you about it, but what about this place kind of drew you in?
Well, in 2017, we looked at the map and said, hey, it's going to be through Texas and Arkansas, and we said we got to get down there. So I told my students, put it on your calendars, and so I ended up in Texas, but then had to move this way because of the clouds. Those high clouds are almost gone, though. It looks perfect.
So tell me a little bit about, I see your shirt twice in a lifetime. You saw, where did you see it in 2017, and what are you kind of hoping to kind of focus on more this time that maybe, a lot of people said, you see it this first time and they don't realize a lot of things that happen. What are you kind of looking forward to seeing this time?
Well, this is the second time, hopefully, that I'll see a totality. We've seen partial ones before, but like they say, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like a 3. This is like 1,000. So I'm hoping to get a couple more pictures through my binoculars and have them magnified, and just to enjoy the shapes, the snake shapes from diffraction, and just looking at people's reaction, I think, is the best. And you can't forget the horizon. It's a total 360 sunset.
And you mentioned, when I was talking to you earlier, you said something along the lines of, you're already looking forward to the next one. There's a third one that you said, I'm looking forward to it. Where's that? Where were you telling me that you were kind of planning on going for that one?
Well, I'm planning on going to Spain in 2026 because 2045 is a ways out there, and I'll be 82. But that goes through Florida, I know, and so my son wants to see that one. But, yep.
Right, never too early to be planning for the next eclipse, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Jacob. He's in Mount Magazine.
Yeah.
What a great vantage point.
That may be the ultimate. Just being elevated like that, he needs to send. Did we get word to him to record a video after he enjoys it?
Yes. We're big on the videos.
You've been wanting it.
Yes. All right. But, Zach, great news.
Yes.
Not a lot of cloud cover. In the cloud cover we are seeing, you can see right through it.
It's very thin. And again, we've stepped outside and looked at it ourselves a little bit. You could feel the warmth of the sun hitting your face a little bit. How many sunglass tans or eclipse glasses tans are going to be across, not even just Arkansas, but America tomorrow? But everybody understands it's just going to look like everybody went to the lake or the beach at this weekend. Yeah, we're going to have those tans for sure with all the sunshine we're getting. We've got some higher level clouds, a little bit thicker band out across Oklahoma. I do not think that is going to be here in time, and even if it did, I think we would still be able to see through it. Again, it looks worse than it is, but there's a batch of some higher level clouds filtering out a smidge of sunlight for northwest Arkansas, and that is clear skies showing up right there. Path of totality, Scott, Logan, Johnson, Pope counties looking beautiful all the way back into north central and northeast Arkansas, opening up blue skies. Batch of thicker, higher level cloud. It is holding off. It's like Mother Nature's got her arm right there saying no further. This thicker cloud cover, if it was in our area, it would really be raining on our parade here, but it is nice. We're going to stay clear. And again, that path of totality is racing a few hundred miles an hour, and it will be here in what we're looking at about a little less than 30 minutes, probably about 28, 29 minutes away. Should be moving into the southwestern edge of 5 country and then racing across. Temperatures comfortable to be outside with all the sunshine we're seeing easily into the 70s and low 80s. Here's what it looks like right now. Live look in Ozark. Few wispy clouds, plenty of sunshine. That's not going to obstruct your view at all. If anything, again, once you get into that sunset time frame, it may just add a few colors out there. And again, I think we're looking great. Nothing to worry about here. No bad news from me. We will be talking about those thunderstorm chances later on, but we'll get there when we get there, ladies.
All right, thank you, Zach. And as you know, Russellville is in the path of totality.
Oh yeah, and it's looking like it is a beautiful day out there, sunny. Don't see too many clouds in the back. Morgan, a lot of people getting excited. We're what, 30 minutes out now? So what is the atmosphere like out in Russellville?
Tiffany, we're all excited. We can tell it's just getting the slightest bit darker out here, and we have a perfect view of the eclipse with our glasses on, of course. But right now I'm here with Russellville Mayor Fred Teague. We know Russellville is kind of the hot spot for the eclipse. NASA is here, astrophysicists from Paris, France are here, and they tell us they chose to make it their home base because of how prepared Russellville is. But I know that's taken a lot of work. You guys have been working for almost 2 years. What is it like to see that work paying off now?
Oh, it's super exciting. We have worked really hard as a community and county and a state to be ready for this. What's so exciting is just to see your plans come to fruition and be able to allow everyone to share this moment with us. You and I have been talking about how we have 50 states represented, 30 different countries represented in this community, and for 4 minutes and 11.5 seconds, we're going to be unified by one thing. I'm looking around at the smiles on the faces and just the amazement when people look up and see. It's just, the energy is amazing. We're grateful to have this window of opportunity to share our community with the world.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, those numbers have grown since we last reported them. We were saying 48 states and 12 countries, but you can see what a difference a day makes.
Today was crazy, and we're on target to land about 140 planes at our local airport. We see people from all over the world here today, and a lot of people have come into the downtown, but now they're leaving and they're going out into the rural parts to get away from the city lights and different things like that. So it's just it's super exciting.
And we've been talking over the last couple of days, and I have seen you just out in the community, meeting everybody you can. How does that feel to meet all these people?
Oh my God, it's so amazing, because yesterday, literally all I did is I would go and I would shake your hand and say, are you local or are you traveling? And I got to meet people from all over the world. Literally all over the world. And so it's just so exciting because I love Russellville. It's my hometown. I'm the luckiest person in the world to be the mayor of my hometown, and I love sharing it. And we hope that people fall in love with Russellville. We want them to come back and visit our lakes, rivers, mountains, and streams, and we want them to love Russellville like we do.
And we have heard such a positive response from everybody, particularly about the hospitality here. They're all so excited. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Teague. Right now, we're going to check in with Darren and Joe over in Clarksville.
All right, Morgan, thanks. Yeah, it has been, I can't even imagine the traffic in and out of Russellville right now with all those folks who were there. And you know what? That is awesome.
It is awesome, the economic boost that it's going to bring. And you know what, too, is while you're looking at the vendors out there this morning, I checked some of them out, you're finding some pretty neat stuff to commemorate this. And this is locally made stuff, so what a great idea. But here in Clarksville, you can tell something's happening. It's changing, right?
You can feel the temperature drop a little bit. It's about, we can show the camera of the moon moving in front of the sun now. Looks to be about 50% right now. We're about 25 or 30 minutes away from totality. But you can feel it's getting a little bit cooler. It has obviously gotten a little bit darker. It's just you're not used to this.
You're not. It feels like a little gray, right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird to see it in the middle of the day. It's going to be dark.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you can see them, they're kind of starting to slow down a little bit because they're putting on those glasses, they're taking a look at the sky. Even the traffic here on Main Street in Clarksville, it was going pretty good just about an hour ago. It sort of slowed down.
And speaking of traffic, and we've talked about this a lot, course, State Police. We've seen the RDOT cameras along I-40 between Alma and Clarksville, and even points even farther west or east of Clarksville. The traffic was just at a jam, and it was all those folks who are trying to get to a spot where it is totality. I would imagine that has dropped off a little bit. But don't think that when you leave from where you're watching it,
Right.
if you leave immediately, you're going to run into a whole lot of traffic. So you may want to just chill out, hang out, have a good time where you are. Here at the rooftop, we're going to be enjoying ourselves here for a little bit. And again, just down the street, down the highway, one town that's really having a great time is the city of Ozark.
Yeah, that's where we find Kayla Davis. Let's check in with her to see what's going on.
Hey you guys, it's getting darker here by the minute, a little bit cooler, still feeling pretty warm, but we're super excited. It's coming, you guys. So this family is from Denver, Colorado, and a lot of families have planned their trips out a year plus in advance. But when did you guys make your trip plans?
Probably January or February. It was actually my brother's idea. My dad went to the eclipse in 2017, but we weren't able to go. And so he said, hey, we really need to go. And, kind of in honor of our dad, too.
Yes, I love that. And we've got the babies here, and we've got a couple more babies off of camera with your brother and your nieces and whatnot. So talk to me a little bit about your plans, because you guys told me right after. What are you guys doing?
We're going to try to make a flight out of Tulsa that's around 8:30 at night. So if there's not too bad of traffic, we should be okay.
Okay, and you guys said you have the rental cars and...
Yeah, so we actually booked rental cars if we have to drive back if we don't make the flight. But fingers crossed we'll make it.
So you guys thought it was, that big of a deal to make a red eye the next morning to come down here. So this is your first time in Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So talk to me about your biggest takeaway so far.
The people are so nice here. I grew up in a small town in Nebraska, York, and this just kind of reminds me of there. All the people are super friendly. The food's been good. Definitely coming back.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, we're super excited to be here. And Lauren, you're going to be giving us another update from Bentonville.
Yeah, we're checking in at the Celebration on the Square here in downtown Bentonville. I'm joined with Communications Director for Downtown Bentonville Incorporated, Aaron Nolan. Aaron, what did preps look like for such a cool, fun event like this?
Well, Lauren, we were sitting around a table earlier this year and noticed that one of the most amazing events to ever hit Arkansas is happening. Let's make it special. Let's put that twist, that Bentonville vibe check on it. I think we've accomplished that. I'm guessing about 1,000 people down here on the Bentonville Square, all just chilled out, all just enjoying what is this natural phenomenon here in the natural state.
Definitely. We talked about before that we are not fully in the path of full totality here in Bentonville, but we're still celebrating here. We're still having a good time. What does it mean to have so many Bentonville residents here? Maybe some new faces, maybe some old faces. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's very special. As a guy who moved from Chicago to Bentonville, I quickly knew that there was a feeling, a Mayberry-like feel to this town. And I think once again, DBI and the city of Bentonville, along with Visit Bentonville, have really accomplished that feeling. I mean, just sitting on the grass, listening to some low-key music, having a few vendors out here, some businesses, local businesses, and supporting local business was our heartbeat. And I think we've done a really great job here.
Yeah, definitely. We're having a great time out here. We can feel it get a little bit cooler here. It's getting a little bit darker, but we're going to send it back to you.
Wait a minute. If you're going back to Darren, I got your shirt, okay? I got your shirt. Don't forget, this was the first time you got mooned in Bentonville.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like I said, we're having a great time out here. We're going to send it back to you guys in Clarksville. What's going on? What's going on out there?
No one better get that shirt down to me, because I'll be wearing that. If I don't accept it from him, nobody else. Aaron is fun. It's a great time up at in Bentonville. Downtown Bentonville Inc. Does so much for Bentonville. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. All right, we need to show our camera on that we have up here on the rooftop in downtown.
Halfway.
It's more than halfway now.
Yeah,
it's starting to. It's just this eerie, dark 1:30 in the afternoon thing. The temperature has dropped off a bit. We talked about the tourism aspect of this, and with the anticipation of 1.5 million people coming into Arkansas, and we're not talking about the entire state. I would imagine a lot of those tourists have made their way to where it is going to be total totality, which includes Ozark, Clarksville. There are a ton of people here along the levee and listening to music that are doing that, and they expect that this could bring in close to $8 million or so, between $5 and $8 million in the state just for this one day. And I'll promise you, this rooftop restaurant is jam-packed right now, as are other locations and businesses that are open right now throughout this area.
Yeah, you know, a lot of city leaders are working with those local businesses up to this point just to make sure they're set up for success. They have everything they need because they knew there would be a lot of people traveling in, and, you know, according to sort of their guesstimates of what's going to happen here, they think people from out of town, they're staying about 3.5 days here.
And then most of them have been here since Friday and Saturday, and they won't leave out till, well, we heard him say he's going to try to catch a flight in Tulsa sometime by tonight. A lot of folks stick around beyond today. One thing we have talked about, of course, is the traffic, and it's just been jam-packed as we knew it was going to be before the eclipse. It may level off a little bit during about the next 30 minutes, but afterwards it's going to be just as bad. And Rachel Williams is out along the I-40 corridor where a lot of that traffic was built up going into this last hour or so. Rachel, what are you seeing out there right now?
Hey Darren, right now it is still clear right here on I-40 going east, but you know that Mulberry and Alma interchange, it is a little congested, it's a little slow, but traffic is still moving. Dave Parker with RDOT said there was an accident earlier, but now it's clear. And I went inside just a few minutes ago to talk to one employee at the Arkansas Welcome Center here, and she told me that everyone was coming in and seeing the traffic on I-40, and that she was actually telling people to keep going I-40 east and take exit 7 towards 59 south, and that'll take them to Highway 22, which is an alternate route for people to go to hit Russellville. It's a lot slower, it'll take a little longer, it's more out of the way, but that's kind of the route that she was giving them because it was such slow and congested traffic along I-40. But people here are staying here, they're not going towards Russellville anymore. People are already camped out, have their chairs and eclipse glasses ready. I've met people from Wyoming, Missouri, Texas, like everyone is just here ready to go and watch the eclipse. And I spoke with people, and they're just, the main reason why they came here was because they wanted to avoid the traffic on I-40. And then also, this is the cheaper option. You get to stay here for free as long as you don't have a tent, and you get to stay here and watch the eclipse. And this is the main reason why that they're here. And they'll also stay here after the eclipse just a little bit to keep an eye on the traffic to make sure that it isn't congested heading back to wherever they're going. So Dave Parker with RDOT did say that a lot of people have learned from the 2017 eclipse that they're going to stay put for a few hours, or they're staying the night just to avoid all the traffic congestion that's expected. But of course, if you're watching the eclipse, be sure to not pull over on the side of the highway, but maybe go on a parking lot or a gas station to watch the full eclipse. I'm going to send it back to the studio with you guys.
All right, thank you, Rachel. And this is amazing. I love that we have drones at this station.
I know.
Let's go ahead and take a live look from our Sky 5 drone. Our crew is taking a look at things over Van Buren. Zach, what are we thinking about this cloud cover?
It's not a problem. And again, it's we are very fortunate. Our friends in South Arkansas and our friends in Texas, some people would disagree with that phrase there. Our friends in Texas, not
any friends over there. They're Arkansas fans. They're our friends.
It's a different story down there. It's a beautiful shot. Everyone's dim. You can feel the temperature changing. It's so exciting.
You were just saying that. We went out on the back porch. Could you feel that temperature change?
Oh yeah, it was a lot cooler. I feel like the first time we went out there, you could kind of feel the sunshine down on your skin, and now you can't. It's weird.
It feels cool, and the dimness, if you will, it's not a normal clouds passing by got dim. It's really kind of weird, isn't it?
It's a little eerie.
It is.
I'm excited to get back out there. Yeah. So I actually got the chance to talk to a scientist from NASA about the science behind total solar eclipses and what happens if it is a cloudy day the day of the eclipse. Thankfully, it looks like we are avoiding that, but take a listen.
Okay, so we'll just get right to it. Starting off, the eclipse, a lot of people are excited for it, but might not necessarily understand the science behind the eclipse and why this is happening. So can you kind of explain that?
Yeah, so the moon is moving between the sun and the earth in just the right location that the moon's shadow is cast down on the earth. And if you are right at the center of that shadow, there's a line called the path of totality where you will see the moon completely block the sun out. And when that happens, the outer atmosphere, which is a million times fainter than the disk of the sun, will be visible. And so that's the full spectacular event of totality. And if you are just outside of that path, everyone else in most of North America will see the moon move across and slowly kind of eat away at the sun. And you will see, I believe in Fayetteville, it's going to be like about 98, 99%. So just a tiny little bit of the sun will be left. So you won't actually see that outer atmosphere, but you will see almost all of the sun completely blocked by the moon.
So a lot of people are making the trip here to Arkansas to see it in totality, especially in Russellville, Clarksville, those areas. So I know, big question, if it's cloudy, will people still be able to see that there's an eclipse happening?
You will, even if it's cloudy, because, and in some ways, the clouds may actually make some of it even more intense, because the light is going to decrease, the temperature is going to change, the animals will respond, because the animals are going to think, hey, it's nighttime, all of a sudden. So I've heard crickets come out, roosters crow, a lot of barnyard animals kind of go back to their nighttime homes. So you will not just see it, but you will experience it. And though I've been in eclipses where it was completely clouded out, but it got pitch black, even darker than it did if there were no clouds.
And so will it look different, just like in what people see? Like, will they still kind of see that outline of the sun behind it, or no?
I guess it depends on how thick the clouds are. I mean, you can still even see if the clouds only partially cover, you'll still get a chance to see that, because the light itself will change, because you're kind of sitting under this shadow. And so every direction you look around is like dusk, is like sunset. So you're going to get this really cool, completely immersive sunset experience.
Yeah, and this might kind of be a silly question, but a lot of people might be wondering, if there are clouds out there, do they still need those glasses to look up at the eclipse?
If you're in totality during that narrow period, you don't need your glasses. In fact, you want to take them off to see anything. However, as long as you're outside of that path and during the partial phase, you always want to wear those glasses if you're going to look up at the sun. Now, there are indirect ways you can do it. Lots of things will create little pinholes, including the leaves on the trees, or you can even take your own hands and kind of cross them like this, and it projects them on the ground. So that's a way to look at it, even if you don't have those glasses. But the basic rule of you should never look at the sun applies even during the partial phase of the eclipse.
Okay, awesome. And then can you kind of explain why this happens only every so often?
Well, it happens. We actually get an eclipse 2 times a year. We don't get one every month during a new moon, because the way the moon moves around the Earth, it actually moves kind of at an angle. So sometimes it's a little bit above the Earth, and sometimes it's a little bit below the Earth. So that shadow is actually cast out into space. But twice a year, it's actually in the right plane, where it's in the same plane as the sun. So that's blocking the sun out. You don't always get a total eclipse, because the alignment still has to be really perfect. That happens roughly every 18 months. So we have eclipses all the time, but really what also makes it so rare and exciting is the shadow itself is very tiny compared to the Earth. So the Earth is big. Eclipses happen all over the place. And so you've got to be able to get to where that shadow is. And that's another aspect that makes it kind of more of a unique, rare experience.
And so for people who have never seen an eclipse in totality, kind of what would you tell them to explain what this experience is going to be like, or even tell them to encourage them to go outside and take a look at it?
Well, I will say, even as a scientist, I found it to be kind of a life-changing experience. It's really, really amazing. So as the sun is getting closer and closer to being completely blocked out, the light around you changes. It gets kind of gray and silvery. The temperature will start to drop. Again, you'll hear the animals start to respond. You may hear the crickets coming out, or roosters crow. I've actually even seen pictures of dolphins in the ocean looking up when this is happening. So all of this is happening around you. You're sort of surrounded in this dusk-like situation, and then all of a sudden, the moon completely moves over. This wispy outer structure shows up, and it feels almost like time stops. It's just sort of this amazing halo above you, and then it turns around and kind of does the reverse, and it's just such a exciting sensory overload, because it's not just seeing it, but feeling it and hearing it. And I highly recommend it if anybody has the chance. It's well worth it.
And for NASA, kind of what is y'all's job the day of the eclipse? You'll have teams that will be split up across the country. What will y'all be doing?
Well, part of what we're doing is to engage the public and to help everyone get an opportunity to see it and experience it safely. But also, it's a unique science experience. The visible corona, the part we see during a total solar eclipse, can only be seen during that time, and only from the ground. So it's a unique opportunity for NASA scientists to study this part of the sun's atmosphere that it actually has a very important influence on our lives. It creates what we call space weather, solar activity, big explosions like solar flares. Those impact our technology. And so it's important for us to understand that part of the sun so that you and I can make sure that our cell phones continue to work and our GPS, make sure astronauts are safe. And it's also an opportunity to study the upper atmosphere, because it's changing the clouds and the structure. And so it's an opportunity for scientists, including meteorologists and climate scientists, to study the Earth's atmosphere at the same time.
And we just went back outside
Yeah.
to peek what's going on.
It's getting eerie
Yeah,
out
it's getting
there.
dim. It really is getting dim.
Dark, a little bit darker,
Yeah.
cooler.
Yes.
What's going on?
You can see the impacts. Again, Bentonville, 97%, Fayetteville, 98%, high 98. You could round it to 99 if we were in school. And then 99%, you can't round it to 100 in Fort Smith.
It's 99.75,
Yeah,
right?
but you can see the impacts of blocking it out that much. It's getting dim, it's getting cooler outside, and it is impressive. Again, temperatures are in the 70s, but we have dropped a handful of degrees. These numbers don't actually update until the top of each hour. So right now, though, we are more into the upper 60s and the low 70s in spots. Incredible. It's very comfortable outside. And again, we are looking at minimal cloud cover, no issues. This is looking way off towards the northwest from Springdale, and you can see we've got a thin layer of clouds here. We're easily able to see through that with our glasses. And this is as bad as it's gotten here. This is Ozark. We've got some scattered higher level clouds, not an issue. Looking dimmer. We really do have great viewing conditions. Obviously, you'd rather it be completely clear, but if you're going to have some clouds, these are the ones you want in place here. Look at it opening up right there. Can you see that? You're seeing the seas part, so to speak. The thicker cloud cover staying to the south, some scattered higher level clouds in northwest Arkansas. We are good to go, and we are getting closer and closer to totality. We are just about 5 minutes away, so our coverage of totality is going to continue on.
The Great Arkansas Eclipse, sponsored by Crabtree RV and
All right, coming back out here live to Clarksville, well, definitely you can tell something's happening.
My gosh.
You're starting to see those sharp shadows darken.
Yeah.
So if you have a hole in a paper, you put
like
it on the
this, you can
ground.
look down and there it is.
Yeah, it's the shape of the eclipse right
Let's
there.
take our camera that is here on top of the rooftop on Main in downtown Clarksville. It is up right now, and it's about 90% of totality, and we still have about 5 minutes to go. And I think what we're going to do is just we're going to stay on that camera now for the next 4 or 5 minutes or so, and just kind of talk our way through up until totality, and then we'll not say anything for a while so we can all enjoy this. What's interesting is if you look around, especially here on top of the rooftop, and also at the levee behind us, and the music has stopped. Everybody is kind of just slowing down now, and not doing a lot of walking around, and not doing a lot of moving around, or we've got some folks who are out here in the grass now that have found a spot to actually watch the when it gets to totality. Everything just kind of calms down.
It does, because when we first got here, everyone was so full of excitement, ready for this to happen. You can tell it's just starting to go silent. People really, they're lining up over here. We can see them on the rooftop here, putting their glasses on. They're just looking at the sky, ready to see this happen.
The staff here at the restaurant have been busy as can be. They take care of all. They've all stopped, and they're getting their glasses put on. In fact, we may stand up here in just a little bit so we can see it ourselves. But the temperature obviously has dropped a lot. Folks are really getting excited for this. This is something we've been waiting for about the last year or so, and everybody's just kind of at a standstill right now,
It's just
waiting
got
for this
really
to
quiet.
happen.
Even we're talking a little quieter, I think, just because you can tell it's happening. It's really just a gray color.
You know what? I'm going to get out of this
Really
chair
peaceful
for just a second.
At this point,
We actually have our glasses that we were given to actually see the. Everybody's starting to get excited now. Let me take these glasses off and put these fantastic spectacles.
oh
on.
yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, we're
Just a
getting really
slither
close.
left.
And what we heard the scientists say that once it gets to be totality, you'll start to see the golden the rim around the moon that's from the sun. That's the most special part
The
about
Bailey's
this.
beads
It's
around
right,
the sun.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes. And
Look like it sparkles.
everybody here is really ready for this to happen, and so we're just a few minutes away from that. We will be on until 2:30 this afternoon. And again, if you're somewhere where you're watching this, don't expect to be leaving right as soon as the totality is done. The traffic is going to be pretty bad when you get out, so you may just hang around. I know a lot of these folks here in Clarksville and in Ozark and in Paris and in Mount Magazine, and especially Russellville, they're going to be hanging out there for a while to watch this.
I-40 will be packed, but of course, Crews, Arkansas State Police, Emergency Management, they are ready for that. So let's go ahead and
So
take
we're
a live look
in
in
Ozark now. There's a lot of folks who gathered there on the square in Ozark as well. They've got a packed house, so to speak, there in Ozark, and it's the same thing in Paris. We were there just yesterday, and they had the Logan County Courthouse there in Paris all not decorated, but full of vendors who came from all over the place to be there, just as we do here in Clarksville. There's vendors all up and down Main Street here at the levee as well. I put my glasses on.
Every little
Everybody's
second,
really
it keeps
stopped.
getting
Yeah.
darker, and it starts changing. We're almost there,
We're
just
about
a tiny slither
98%
left.
looks like, little bitty sliver left if that camera is still up. All right, we got the camera back on it from Clarksville here. There's just a little bit of cloud cover here. There's not, and Stephen talked about this for the last week or so. It was nice and sunny all the way up until just about now. These high wispy clouds have come in, but you heard the scientists say in that interview we heard that the clouds kind of make it even better to see.
Right.
Because it actually highlights it better.
It does.
But there's just some of these high wispy clouds that are in here now, and it's really not dampened any of the enthusiasm.
No, and I love looking at just like the trees and everything, because everything got a little bit sharper, right?
Yeah.
With those shadows, everything's just a little bit greener, a little bit sharper around the
It
edges.
still has this weird feeling though of it's 1:40 in the afternoon, 1:45 in the afternoon, and it feels like it's 8 o'clock at night.
It does.
And we the animals. He talked about some animals may actually come out and react to this, which is interesting.
Maybe
And
some
once the
roosters
sun-
crowing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people here, their behaviors are starting to change.
Oh yeah. It's all nice and quiet where people are waving at us down there. It's 2 minutes away from totality, and there's just a little bitty sliver left of the camera that we are showing right now, high atop the rooftop
We are
on Main in
almost
downtown
there.
Clarksville.
We have to mention, the glasses, when to take those off, when would be a good time, which is whenever it
It's
completely happens.
totality, and the only time you can keep them off is during totality. But once you start seeing the sliver again, you got to get those glasses.
Put them back
Yeah.
on. And of course, there'll be a lot of people out on the roadways. If you know someone's out there driving, if you have to leave out now, don't stop on the roadway.
Don't
you can't
stop.
do that.
Yes.
And you can't see through these
Exactly,
glasses.
Yes. All right, so with the cloud cover, we can still see it, even though there's just a little bit of cloud cover here. We can still see just the tiniest sliver of sunlight, and it is really getting dark out here. It's almost like at dusk. If you're in a spot where it is totality, it is very similar to dusk. It's got that grayish feeling.
Yep.
And we're 1 minute away. So we may just turn up this one microphone here and just kind of listen to the crowd as they get ready for totality, which is going to be about less than 1 minute.
In the middle of
Can you hear us now? Okay, if you can hear us now, we are looking at, we had an Ozark camera up. You can take your glasses off right now that we are in totality, and you can look up and you can see the halo around the moon. You can hear people here on the rooftop they're getting emotional from this. I mean, this is something that you won't see for in a long time, another 20 years for another total solar eclipse here. But it's as dark out here as if it were 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night in the middle of July.
Right, it looks like there's just a sunset all the way around.
All the street lights have come on in downtown Clarksville. Again, if you look up, there's a halo, and we've just got a few more minutes to go before the sliver of the sun will come back out and it'll start getting bright again.
Right, that's when you got to put your glasses back on, but you're good right now.
You know, you kind of anticipate how dark it's going to get, or you think you know how dark it's going to get when the sun is totally covered up. But I never expected something like this.
It's like it's nighttime right now.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like 8:30.
You can look out, you can't see past the trees and so forth. So Russellville is up now too. They're in totality in Russellville. There are countless number of people in Russellville, and how many states that came out from to Russellville? 48 states and 20 countries and so forth to visit Russellville.
People all over the country right here in Arkansas right now.
And they're doing the same thing we are.
Yeah.
They're looking up.
I can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful in complete totality right now.
And if you look out toward the west, you can start seeing it get brighter because that's where the sun's starting to pop out. And so, here we go. Now we're back. Now you got to put your glasses back on because totality has ended.
Yep. You're going to start to see that sun is starting to peek out just a little bit now, but soak in this darkness right now. It's happening quickly, starting to bring back some of that sunlight. Things are starting to get lighter already.
It's getting brighter to the west as if the sun is rising from the west, which is also kind of bizarre.
Right.
But this is the time where you need your glasses back on if you want. Oh, do we need to sit back down now? Okay. We're enjoying this as much as we can too. Let's get our stuff back here again. But yeah, it's the folks here at the rooftop had a fantastic viewing of this. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, so what a beautiful place to be, right?
Oh yeah,
Clarksville, not only the rooftop, but here downtown with everything that's happening, everyone's celebrating, and even those who are right here by this creek, who put a blanket down, maybe just sat down to enjoy everything that's happening. A great place to be here in Clarksville to enjoy this eclipse. But you can tell already. I mean,
it's starting to get bright again. Right? Yeah. Once totality happened, it's an amazing to be able to see it in totality and as dark it is. But now the temperature is going to start going up. It's obviously getting a whole lot brighter now, and now that everybody's starting to move around again.
Yeah,
and,
you can feel that temperature.
They're all starting. Now they want it to go back.
Right. I'd love to see that again, wouldn't
My
you?
goodness.
I could do round 2 of that. But yeah, you can see that the moods are starting to change here. Everybody sort of got quiet, really paying attention to what was happening. And now that sun's coming back, starting to get excited again. But still a lot going on here at the rooftop. Everybody has their phones out, those glasses on, certainly keeping a close eye on what's going on here.
There were folks taking pictures with their cameras during the actual totality because it won't ruin your cameras or any of that sort of thing. All the cameras are out taking video. And I'm sure we're going to see a bunch of those. Kayla Davis has been in Ozark pretty much all day today, or all morning and all afternoon. Kayla, I'm sure it was just as exciting there as it is here.
I live in Reidumwinkel, Germany, which is right on the Austrian border.
Germany. What was your name?
Brigitte.
So you guys, y'all came all the way from Germany. We just finished the eclipse, so tell me, what are y'all's takeaways?
Well, it's awesome. I mean, this is my third one, and I go way out of my way to come to one.
Yes, awesome. That's the word. It was just really great. It just was worth coming, and we planned our trip around this. That's true.
How early did you guys plan for something like this?
Easily last year was when I did. But I'll say right after 2017, when they were predicting this one, I was really looking at the past and where it was going to be and how close we could come down to get to it.
So this is your third eclipse. So you guys were at the 2017 eclipse.
I wasn't.
But you were.
Yeah, I was.
So basically, you guys said you have to see it again. You can't miss it.
No, that's
together.
If there's one that's practical to get to, I would go again. It's just super.
Absolutely. And is this your first time in Arkansas, all the way from Germany?
I've been to Arkansas, but a long time ago. Yes.
So I guess, what is your biggest takeaway of Arkansas? Obviously, the eclipse, but why do you guys love coming here?
Well, everybody was very friendly here. We got here early, and it just was amazing how friendly and everything was super. And then, of course, I love mountains, and the drive down here we drove down from South Kansas City, and it's just beautiful. It's really. I'm doing an advertisement for Arkansas.
Well, I will say I can agree the people are so nice. I have been looking for you guys all day. I finally found you guys, but thank you so much for joining me. We're going to give it back to you guys.
That
All the way
is
from
so
Germany.
exciting.
That's incredible.
I think it's even cooler to hear, of course, Americans traveling from all over the country to be in Arkansas, but people from around the world traveling here.
Getting to see just a part of the natural state's beauty.
Yes, and then spread the word back internationally wherever they came from. Hey, Arkansas is a great place to be.
There are no forced smiles on our faces, on anyone that we've talked to, we've shown here leading up to it, and especially after it. You can just see the joy on people's faces.
Oh, it's been a very special day.
They're so excited. Well, hey, and it's special out there in Russellville too. They also got to see that total eclipse. And Morgan, what's it like out there?
Hey guys, well, like I said, the energy has picked back up. Here was a very special moment during Totality. We're kind of coming full circle right now. This is Matt Bostic. We talked to him yesterday, and he had a big journey to get here. Tell us what about your trip.
Well, it was a retirement 25-day sabbatical, and this is day 4, and I don't know how you top this. But I'm heading to Alabama and to Key West, Florida to go fishing. But to see this celestial event is more than emotional.
Absolutely. And you were telling me you've never been to Arkansas before. You've also never seen a total solar eclipse. After this experience, what are the emotions?
It was, I'm speechless. I'm actually going to come back here when we're on our last leg, when my wife can come. We're going to come back here to Russellville and try to do a little canoeing and stuff. But to witness a celestial event, it's hard to imagine everything lining up right here, right now. And it's still here. So it's just been amazing. I won't miss another one. Next one for me, I think I'll be 84. I won't miss it.
Well, it is so special, so worth the trip, I'm sure, and so glad you made it here to Russellville. People from all over the world experiencing this together. Thank you so much, Matt. It's been so nice talking to you over the past few days. Well, that's all from us in Russellville for now. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Morgan. You know, you hear about some people losing, and just everything as they are just looking up at the sky, and it just takes their breath away.
Yeah.
Left him speechless and emotional, clearly.
Yes.
I feel like you don't know till you're in that moment,
Yeah.
right? Like how you're
Yes.
going to react.
Right.
Yes, and he talks about everything lining up. That's one thing we haven't really talked about a whole lot. The sun, massive. The moon, so tiny.
Yes.
The sun has to be at the right distance away that its size lines up with the moon, and then just him talking about everything coming together. It's so perfect how it's set up to do that.
I talked to a NASA astrophysicist who said some people become eclipse chasers. You experience one, and it's that
You want another.
emotional, it just
You're
washes
hungry for
over
the next.
you. You just want to go see the next one.
And I imagine you want to do it with your family. And then
Yes.
also, he's been so touched just by the community there. He wants to come back to Russellville just to hang
And
out in
bring his
Russellville.
wife. How cool is
That's
that?
Arkansas.
Too.
That's Oklahoma. We know that. It's awesome to see others that are traveling in get a taste of. This is why I can see why people call this area home.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, speaking of Clarksville, let's go send it back to Joe and Darren. They are live outside there. I want to hear your reaction of what it was like to look up at the sky as Totality happened. Were you hearing all of those people cheering? Were you guys emotional? What was it like?
Open up, Joe.
Open up.
It is a bit emotional
Yeah, it
to
really
hear
is.
that and to watch people to get so excited like that, but also to see everyone around you just sort of stand still for just a minute.
Yeah, we were watching, as we were watching, I was looking around during Totality, and you can just see it on people's faces. There's some folks here that are right next to us that came from Southern California. One guy said we'll hear from him later on in our newscast, who said this is his third one, and this was the one he teared up on.
Right.
Because it was so perfectly shaped, the halo around the moon, the cloud cover made it even better. And you all touched on the situation there in Russellville where they plan to come back after this eclipse. That was one of the things that everybody who planned this, every city, every county government, what they were hoping is when you got here to watch this, that the hospitality of wherever you are is going to be where you want to come back. And I've heard that from all these people here on top of the rooftop saying, you know what, this has been fantastic. We are going to come back and visit these towns, even if there's not an eclipse.
And a lot of the parks and tourism, they have done a great job of sort of putting out what Arkansas has to offer as well. Because a lot of these tourists who came in, they didn't just come in, stay in a hotel, and then watch this. I mean, they were out enjoying Arkansas. They were out hiking. They were out camping, enjoying these parks. And that's what state leaders wanted them to do. That hopefully, they'll think about maybe making Arkansas there.
Yeah, and we talked about being emotional. Yeah, it's. I went through the one in 2017. I've never been involved in one where it was a totality.
Right.
And when you have your glasses on and you see the sun go away, you can't see the halo around it until you take your glasses off. And once you do that, it's like It is very spiritual.
Yeah, it sort of takes your breath
really
away.
Amazing. And to watch everybody else do the same thing. You're not the only one that feels like this. You're doing this with a lot of folks who have never seen this before, reacting the same way. You can hear probably when it was totality here, everybody here started cheering. Where the band is, they quit playing, and everybody down at the levee at the park down here behind us.
And the street lights come on.
The street lights come on.
Yeah.
But everybody started cheering as soon as the sun went away. And then you had that 4-minute time span where everybody just stood still and just watched. And as soon as the sliver came out, Bailey's, I forgot what it's called now. I should have been. Everybody cheered again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was the end of totality, and it's just been amazing.
And so, I think the only bad thing is, if we could find something bad, is it just didn't last long enough. Right? I could have stood there and watched that longer.
We had one guy say, "Can we have it back again? Can we rewind this?" But yeah, it's I know we've been kind of watching the coverage from CBS on the TV over here. They've been following totality. It is now up into Illinois and into Indiana. Where there's total there. It's obviously starting to get back light here again. Some of the scientific facts on this, that nature is getting back to normal now. What time is it? It's 2:09. Light levels and temperature will get back to normal at about 17 after, and then it's 30 or 40 minutes later before we all get back to normal light again. Temperature starts rising to where it should be. Everything's back.
I kind of feel like it is starting to get hotter again. It did get cool there for a minute. And, we've been talking to you about traffic this whole time, about, how much there is out there. And the minute this happened and that sort of emotional burst came through, people sort of picked up their stuff. And I've seen so many people head down Main Street in Clarksville. They're ready to go home, probably looking to beat that traffic.
Well, and if again, state police really wanted you to hang out for a little bit, because unless you just want to get out and take your time getting home, I-40 traffic is going to be, when it was westbound before, it's going to be eastbound, going back toward Alma from Clarksville, where that traffic is going to be really heavy. But if you want to just hang around, there's not hardly anybody here at the rooftop that has left. I was looking down here behind us. There's a few people that have left who had blankets out, watching it. Not a lot of folks have left out here.
No, if you find a good spot like this, you don't leave it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't give it up. We're having a great time here on the rooftop. We couldn't have picked a better spot.
Yeah, and we really do want to say thanks to the Rooftop on Main in Clarksville. They have been absolute fantastic hosts for us. We pretty much took over about a quarter of their rooftop. Now that leaves them still quite a bit of tables and picnic tables where people started showing up here at about 10 o'clock this morning.
Oh yeah, early.
And not a lot of them have left. I think a lot of folks will stay here as well too, to try to avoid beating that, or try to avoid getting into that traffic jam that is fitting to happen on I-40 right now, heading back toward Alma and back up 49 into northwest Arkansas. All right, we still have about 15 minutes or so to cover here today. We'll revisit our reporters who are out on different locations from now till 2:30. And again, just a reminder, we'll have, of course, complete coverage of this at 4, 5, and 6 tonight. So stay tuned for that. For right now, we are going to take a break. We'll have much more coverage coming up in just a few moments.
Well, hey, welcome back live here in Clarksville once again, where we hit totality. Now we're heading the other way. Things are starting to get back to normal.
Yeah, we can take the camera and show you what the sun looks like now. It's what, half?
Yep.
It's about a quarter of it or so that is now covered up by the moon, and things are almost back to normal. It's starting to warm up.
You can feel the sun.
It's getting lighter, obviously, out here now. A lot of traffic though is starting to move through town here in Clarksville, and I would imagine it's the same way out on Interstate 40 right now.
Yeah, let's check in with Rachel. She's out there now. Let's get a look, see what's going on out there. Rachel, how's it looking?
Joe, it's pretty clear out here still, and drivers actually took the advice from ASP. They did not pull over on the highway. They did pull into the rest stop. We had about 2 cars pull into the rest stop, and then 2 truck drivers pull in to see the eclipse. And it was just breathtaking to take it all in and be able to watch the eclipse. But I just looked at my GPS on I-40. It is still clear as of right now, and same thing for I-49 going north and south. But we don't know how that'll be in the coming few minutes. Dave Parker with RDOT did say that he is expecting it to tick up, but a lot of people have learned their lesson from the 2017 eclipse, where they're just going to stay the night and enjoy the city that they're staying in. And like I said earlier, a lot of visitors from Wyoming, Wisconsin, Texas, Oklahoma, they chose this spot because of the location. They wanted to just stay here. It's cheaper, and it's avoiding traffic. Like, they can just get onto the highway and go back to their areas where they have to go without having to be stuck in traffic like those who will probably be in Russellville and in Clarksville. But for right now, that's all that I got. I'm gonna toss it back to the studio.
People from all over in Arkansas, just amazing. And so as we know, around 1:50, we were seeing that path of totality go over us. But now, Zach, where is the path of totality happening right now?
So it's zooming 1,100 to
1,100 to 5,000 miles per hour is how fast an eclipse shadow travels.
It's literally just doing this. And the fact that it's even here for 4 minutes kind of blows my mind. It's already gone through Indianapolis, and it's going through over Cleveland, Ohio right now. So it shows you it is zooming, racing across the Earth's surface, racing across the U.S.
And it's still a shared experience for the people who were in the path of totality here in Arkansas, but then also if you are in Indianapolis or Cleveland or New York, Mexico, everyone who's in that path of totality seeing what we just saw, which is just stunning. And like Darren was saying, a very spiritual experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yes, absolutely.
It's exciting. I want to do it again. I want you to kind of circle back. Or we can move 5,000 miles an hour to get back in front of it again. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And well, it's just been an amazing day all around. And like we were talking about before, it's great for businesses. It's great for people to just take a break from work and step outside and experience something that truly is once in a lifetime.
Well, and I just love the fact that a lot of people are going to places they'd never go, right? Like one lady said this was her 50th state to visit was Arkansas. So for some reason, Arkansas wasn't on her list until the very end. And what a way to wrap up.
We like to think that she was holding on to that one for 20 years because she knew that the eclipse was coming. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was like. I think she did say she knew that the eclipse was coming in here, and it was a reason for her to kind of, at least in the last couple years, kind of hold Arkansas off to the side.
But we've heard people say they want to come back now after coming and experiencing it for this.
As they should, because Arkansas has so much more to offer.
So much more to offer.
We're seeing that right now. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Oh, I think we're going to toss out to Morgan.
We're not. Just kidding. We're staying here. Let's actually go send it out to Morgan.
She's in Russellville joining us live. Tell us all about it. Hey, Morgan.
Hey guys, well here in Russellville, the mood is still high. People are starting to clear out, and I will say it has been so special, almost just as special as a moment of totality, to talk to the people we've been talking to all weekend after the fact and say, how do you feel after the eclipse, and hear their stories. All the people that told us how powerful it was going to be were exactly right. Of course, as all these people are headed out, you can see them behind me. Still a lot of people set up here, but there you can see a lot of people headed out. Like I said earlier, make sure to just take it slow and be patient on the roads. We know we're all going to be on the roads for a lot longer than we normally would be with this amount of people. So everyone stay safe and enjoy the rest of your travels. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much. And again, really cool that we have our crews stationed everywhere.
Yeah, and I know right now, I would think the most Googled search, maybe we give it another hour once it's completely out of the U.S. I guarantee the most Googled search right now will be when's the next best place in the U.S. We know that, or not the U.S., the next best one in the world will be coming up, because again, it happens a couple times every year, but you know, it doesn't always line up in spots that are you're able to actually go to.
Yes, absolutely. All right, check this out. Here's that mass wedding where hundreds of couples tied the knot just before totality in Russellville. More than 300 couples took their vows just before the eclipse at a soccer complex in Russellville hosting this event.
That is pretty cool. What a story you're going to have to tell the kids one day, right?
Absolutely. Are they all giving their vows at the same time?
I think so. That's a good cheap way to do the wedding too.
Yeah, there you go. You still have, you know, a large crowd at your wedding, but it's free.
A lot of witnesses to see you say I do.
Yes.
And I know the video is going to continue to come in. And again, we've been recording so many things, from drone shots to live video. Looky here, this time lapse going.
Yeah, RDOT's iDrive Arkansas cameras, they were actually capturing totality as the moon shadow crossed straight across Arkansas. Take a look at this, getting dark. This is the time-lapse video showing us the skies went dark. This was around 1:50 near Clarksville. That is incredible.
Let's stay on this until we can really see it.
Yeah, it's going. You see
you
can see, and again, these cameras are never going to do justice to what the naked eye would be seeing. The orange, it's already getting light. Look, we can see from our angle here, we can see I-49. We sit up on a hill here in Johnson, and we could see I-49, and you could see the lights switching on here as well.
Even some businesses around here.
Let's take a look at this. Wow, drones giving us a bird's eye view of totality this afternoon in Texas. This video is captured at Eagle Pass at a watch party in the path of totality.
That's
Clearly,
awesome.
they're on a big football field too.
That is so cool to see.
Amazing, amazing. Well, let's send it back out to one of our crews. We've got Lauren live in Bentonville. As we know, Bentonville was not in the path of totality. Zach, you were saying it was what, 98, 98, 97?
High 97%. We could round it to 98.
All right.
But hey, they were still having fun out there.
Absolutely.
You know, Bentonville will always throw a good party. Hey, Lauren.
Hi guys, yeah, we just wrapped up the Celebration here on the Bentonville Square. Lots of fun, was a great turnout. There was people all over just having their glasses on, looking up at the sky, getting ready to see that eclipse. And like Alexandra said, we were not in the path of totality here in Bentonville, but again, we still had a great time out here. Bentonville knows how to throw a party. Alexandra, you're definitely right. It was really cool to see it get so dark and kind of cold, a little bit windy. Got really quiet, like everyone else was saying, from their spots that they were on in the path of totality. Got really quiet here in Bentonville too as the eclipse happened, and then everyone kind of just dispersed after that. Everyone kind of just went back to doing their normal thing, going back out to doing their normal Monday things. But yeah, we had a lot of fun out here. That's all I have for now. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, probably those Bentonville businesses all around downtown, stepped outside. My husband, who works for Walmart, he texted me and he said, I'm pretty sure all of Walmart walked out at the same time to watch it, and then just went back to work like normal. But one place they're not doing that, Ozark, where people are celebrating all day long. They've
Party's
come
still
from
rolling.
everywhere. They just talked to some people from Germany that were there just to celebrate that eclipse. We're going to send it back out to Kayla to hear what people are doing out there. Is the party still going, Kayla?
Hey guys, yeah, the party is definitely still going. They've kind of cleared out of this area a little bit, but no worries, they're heading down the street. So the last couple I talked to was all the way from Germany, but these girls here are from Van Buren and Ozark. So tell me a little bit something special about you guys. I see these drapes that you guys have. What's your name?
Case.
So tell me, what is this that I'm looking at right now?
It is the state talent and cover girl from Our Diamond Miss.
Awesome. So they're sporting all of their trophies and their crowns. So what were you guys doing out here that I saw you guys doing earlier?
We were selling cookies as a fundraiser so that way some of us could go to state.
Awesome, awesome. So they're out here supporting themselves, but also having a good time. So this was your first eclipse, right?
Yes.
Tell me your biggest takeaway. What were you expecting?
I don't really know what I was expecting, but it was pretty cool.
And what did you think?
I thought it was amazing, and I had no idea what was going to happen.
I didn't know what was going to happen either. I was just glad to be here with you guys. So before I send it back to you guys, I want to see one of your talents. You said that you're doing acro, so show me what you got, girl. Okay. She's going to show us something really cool that she tells me she does for her talent. And on the concrete too. Woo! That won her state champ, you guys. But back to you guys. We're having a great time out here.
I wish you could have heard her reaction when she did that. We were like, whoa!
The excitement built back up. It was almost a complete rerun of emotion going into the eclipse. We were sitting there once again. Whoa!
I thought she was going to do the worm.
I thought she was going to do it too.
And then she was
good. Yeah. Wow. Well done there. It was worth the wait there waiting for it.
All right, let's send it back to the heart of all this, Clarksville, where Joe and Darren are. And I know you guys have experienced this, and you've seen a lot of people, met a lot of people today, again, from all over the world.
Yeah.
Right there.
We have to know your favorite part of all this. Today.
Yes. What was your favorite part?
Hang out for 5 minutes. All right, we are back here on top of the hilltop, or the rooftop. On Main.
On Main.
In
I think
Clarksville.
that was our favorite part, is having this scene and just sitting here enjoying it all day.
Oh yeah, it's been, and there are folks who are starting to leave now from the levee down here. There's a lot of traffic now moving out of both ways in Clarksville, and I've been looking at the RDOT cams from the exit, a couple of exits in Clarksville going back west, or going back west to toward Alma and Fort Smith. The traffic is moving,
right?
But it is there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
so if you're just now heading out and you're going to get back out onto I-40, heading back to Alma and the Fort Smith, and then heading up I-49 to Fayetteville, you might run into a little bit of traffic, but it is moving. There so far I haven't seen any accidents or anything so far.
We've been
on
really lucky
IDOT.
on that front.
And RDOT and state police have done such a terrific job in getting everybody ready for this. It's been all hands on deck for about every agency in the state to make sure that it is run smoothly, and so far so good.
Yeah, I think maybe you just don't leave, right? Maybe you stick around just a little bit longer. All the city's doing something fun.
They have shrimp bowling over here.
Yeah.
They have hamburgers and stuff in here. They have chicken strips over here.
And a band playing a little
band playing back here.
there.
I'm thinking in about 3 minutes we just may call it a day. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to have complete coverage at 4, 5, and 6. Joe and I'll be back here with on top of the rooftop to bring you what's going on here tonight at 4, 5, and 6, and then tonight at 10 we'll of course have a complete wrap of all the activities that took place in Russellville, in Clarksville, in Ozark, on top of Mount Magazine, and of course in Paris as well too.
Absolutely.
It's been a fun time out here, Joe. I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's been a great time.
We've had a great crew out here. Again, thanks for the folks on top of the rooftop on Main in downtown Clarksville.
A
fire
truck coming through.
Heading this way. So thanks to all the folks here, the staff here. Thank you so much for all of your help here. Joe, what a great time it was. It was so much fun.
It's been a pleasure.
We will send it back into the studio, and Alexander and Tiffany and Zach. Been a fun time here. I don't know about you guys, but we've had a great time here.
We've had a great time here.
We had a little bit of
it.
FOMO with y'all being out there, but we had a great time.
I still enjoy the experience with you ladies here and the rest of the staff being able to
cool.
see what we were able to see on this end.
Yeah, to see both sides of it,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone who you don't see on camera, our production crew behind the scenes, our
Doing a lot of work to
engineers,
make this
photographers, to make this
Producers.
truly seamless.
And-
Yes, producers.
And one of the most important jobs, switching from the camera with the lens to the camera without the lens to make sure we don't lose that shot for you.
It was amazing. By the way, if you missed totality, now you're feeling a little bit jealous. The next notable eclipse will be in Greenland, Iceland, and Spain in 2026.
All great spots.
All great spots. Northern Africa and the Saudi Peninsula have one in 2027. Australia and New Zealand in
Now that one.
2028. Africa and Australia in 2030. There's a lot. Here in the U.S., though, we will not see our next eclipse until August of 2044. That eclipse is going to run through Greenland, Canada, into Montana and North Dakota, so nowhere near us. The following year, you'll see a total eclipse cross from California to
That's a
Florida.
big
So
one.
the next year,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Looks like we're gonna have to plan some trips.
Yeah.
But hey, it'll be here in Arkansas. Just 20 more years, guys. We got it. Well, hey, that does it for us in that 5 News live coverage of the Great Arkansas Eclipse. Thank you so much for experiencing this with us today.
Absolutely. We'll have a complete recap of the eclipse on